It's dark. Very dark. Very claustrophobic. Very alone. Trapped. Bound. Still. Where are we? What have we been dreaming? Where do you go inside your own head?
Out in the skies, dancing on the clouds, diving in between the stars and circling around the moon. Just a pirouette on Saturn's rings and then return to Earth again, floating above everything, above the world, above the cities, above the others, above humans.
A flash of pain like lightning goes through your cerebellum.
Mm.
A crack, maddeningly loud in your ears from all around you. Crack! Can't breathe. Something is suffocating you. There's something in your lungs, in your throat. It's gagging you.
Has to get out. Has to get out of my throat. Try to throw it up. Try to bang on my chest.
Can't. Bound. You struggle. You feel restraints on your wrists or ankles, even across your head and your neck. The more you struggle, the more you feel those painful metal needles all up your body, including, well, your forehead and your spine. Oh, yes, it is there in your spine. Every single spine it touches, it's like hot, hot, hot fire.
It has to get out. Has to get out of my body.
There is a rocking motion. You're thrown out. The sky is there. The sky is visible. For a second, you can see it. You can see all the stars that you imagined as everything goes topsy-turvy. You're being twirled around, thrown out. Why?
I don't care why. I just need to get out of here. I need to go away from this. I need to stop putting things in my body. Get it out. Everything that they put in, it has to get out. It has to get out now.
The coffin you're in is thrown into the ocean. And all that light that was briefly there gets submerged, as if the light is going under and not necessarily you, not necessarily the glass coffin you find yourself in. It is all starting to just disappear far away from you. All those dancing lights.
The straps, the needles are part of the straps. They're part of the cage. Part of the sea. Sea's touching the sky. I have to get out. I have to go to the sky, but that's part of me because
Beep. 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 Your thoughts, their thoughts are interrupted by a beep, 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 and a cold, very, very sterile voice going through very, very crackly speakers. Hibernation mode activated. Please go to sleep. You feel a bit of drowsiness, go ahead and enter into your mind as, again, that spike, that needle is malfunctioning in your brain pad. Again, a zap of electricity goes right on through it. You feel more pain first before you feel the drowsiness again.
It needs to. They're hurting my brain. Needs to stop.
You drift. You sleep. And you dream again. What do you dream?
Dream of time when everything was simpler. I was stroking those white and black keys. Just a simple touch that sets forth a sound so beautiful. Just with one touch, and then another and another, as you weave the notes and the music, and it rhymes and it fits. The notes that are on the paper just fill the room, and they dance around, no longer visible, but just barely touchable, as it almost strokes your ears like satin. It's simpler when we play music together.
You don't know why, but your feet are cold. No, not just cold, freezing, actually.
Try to move them. Need to stay warm. I need to touch the pedals of the piano.
You extend your toes, and instinctively you also extend your fingers, and you touch something. You touch nylon, you touch fabric, you touch padding, you touch a bit of latex as well, a bit of glass as well. You've actually touched something that's on your wrist. It feels like a tab, but something's wrong. It's been broken. You touch it once and twice, and you slice your fingertip.
Ow.
Everything is dark, but you can open your eyes. You can look around you. You see yourself in a glass coffin. The plexiglass before you is curved in a cylinder. All around you looks like monitoring equipment. Something about your heartbeat, something about your brain waves, something about the battery of this particular pod starting to die out. And even a lot of the computer information systems have really, really bad registry warnings and errors. But all around you, outside the pod, is darkness, is black, and is cold. And when you look down to your feet, as much as you can look, because right now your head is being strapped and held in place, but you can see water leaking into the pod through a tiny, tiny, minuscule crack. Please mute yourself and go camera dark, Katie.
There's water in the cage. It's not good. It's not. You need to. Can't be. It can't touch me. If it touch me, if it touch me wrong, I will die. If I can't fly away, I will walk. But I need to get out. The water is hurting. Water is bad. Try to kick it away. The water needs to stay away. It needs to stay away from me. Water has to stay out. It cannot be in here. It's not allowed. We'll not have it here.
Then what do? You can't move. You cut yourself. You're bleeding.
cut myself. Strap can be cut, but I need to cut deeper then. I need to cut more deep.
Do you look down?
Yeah.
When you look down, you can see. Fair enough. When you look down, you can see your hands. You can see the nylon medical suit that they went ahead and stuck you into. That form-fitting number meant for practicality rather than any sort of fashion sense. When you look at your left hand, you can go ahead and flex it, and you can see the blood starting to pool there. You see the gash in your fingertip, but you also see that bit of glass that's connected to a tag and an ID. It has your name on it, an identification number, but it also has a sharp, sharp edge, and it's right next to the restraint on your wrist.
That means I can break out. I need to cut it. I need to connect the strap to the sharp thing, and then the sharp thing can break the restraint. I need to connect the dots.
Oh, what do you do?
Pushing forwards, pushing the strap onto the sharp thing, and just start rubbing back and forth as hard as I can.
Okay, fair enough. You go ahead and do so. The bit of glass starts to dig into the restraint every so often. You start to freaking struggle against it with your tiny, tiny bit of strength with just your wrist muscles that are actually, you have to stop. You're cramping up hard. You push through it. You push through it until your entire wrist muscle just goes exhausted. You can see the tiny, tiny little slim of nylon that still holds the restraint in place. What do?
I can break free from that. Just very hard snap. So try to push my hands towards my head. Just one very big pull. Try to see if I can break the final bit of restraint.
Oh, and you do so with a phenomenal amount of strength that you did not know that you had, that comes with a desperate, desperate need to survive. You go ahead and break your own fucking wrist. But the restraint is also broken. You have one hand free.
Yay. What's in my head? I need to get out of what's in my head. I need to pull it out. Stop hurting my head.
Do you try to grab for it?
Yeah.
You try to grab for it, but you realize that your wrist, there's nothing in there. There's no strength in there. It's all too exhausted. But when you look back down, you notice that the buckles on the other strap would be a lot easier to pull off.
I actually try to slap with my hands towards whatever's in my head for a few times, but then calm down. See the connection, see the right dots, see the right movement, see the other strap. Slowly try and release the other hand.
You do so, you wince, but the buckle comes undone and you have your right hand free now.
Try to get my head free first. My throat should stop. Stop trying to strangle me with your straps. It's not win. You will not take the air out of my throat. It's not gonna work like that. It needs to go. And what's in my head? Stop hurting my head. Now.
Do you go with the thing in your throat, or do you go with the thing in your head?
First for the thing in my throat.
All right. Go ahead and grab it with your now good hand. You tug on it. And when you tug on it, you feel the tube going down your esophagus all the way down into your lungs. You just go ahead and keep pulling. Keep pulling. You notice that something goes ahead and pops inside you, but you keep on going. It goes ahead and touches the back of your throat. Every single bump goes ahead and makes you want to gag. If there was anything in your stomach, because you're pretty sure there's nothing in there, you could go ahead and gag dry fucking keys as the entire tube gets thrown out. And several of the warning signals are starting to blare, being really, really distracting and frightening.
Stop. Silent. Shh. Be silent. Stop hurting me. Shut up. Keep your noises. I don't need them. Stay away from me.
You say these things, and in an instant, you see the display, you see the energy, you see the light that courses through all of it, as if it was all just dancing lights in the sky. And you notice that all these dancing lights actually have a central sun, a hub that is just to the right of your hand, actually. It seems just to be a box with a bit of diodes and switches and levers.
That's the noise making thing. I'll try and see if I can find a logic in it. That's the main access points. Then there must be a way to stop it from there.
All right, let me look at this. Oh, hey, yes, actually. You do have a bit of knowledge. That's going to be very, very useful. You look at this thing. And you realize that this thing is used to monitor your heartbeat, your brain waves, your breathing, the different atmospheric temperatures, and it doesn't take a bit too long until you can find out how to turn off these alarms by just setting these alarms off. Just there is no emergency here. There is no code blue, there's no code purple, there's no code pink. Just turn it the fuck off.
Yeah. So she'll actually check to see if she can like quickly kind of see what different codes there were. If there's like any description on the machine, that she'll go for turning it off immediately because that is first priority right now.
Hmm. You realize that while these are medical codes, you don't know enough about them actually to discern what means what. But, well, you're clever enough to be able to turn it off.
Turn it off.
There's a bit of a crackling, actually, a mad crackling that goes ahead and hurts your ears quite unpleasantly, but eventually does turn off. Now, you're left with a spike in your head.
To get out. Now.
Mm-hmm. How do you do it?
One dot in medicine. I can't see what I'm doing, so probably gonna try and feel what angle it is in.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to remove it in one movement with exactly the right angle.
You go ahead and you touch it. You can feel your skull right there for every small movement and mishap of your shaky, shaky hands. But with a bit of determination, you pluck it out. And it is a massive, massive. Actually, it isn't too bad. Interesting enough, this is probably the least painful bit of it. And you go ahead and look at the needle, and it's barely even 3 centimeters long.
I put a needle in my skull. It needs to go now.
Yeah, and it is now gone. You hold it in your hands.
Toss it away.
It flies against the side of this very, very claustrophobic tube. By the way, your feet, they're actually freezing right now. They're burning cold.
I can't get to my feet, I guess. Can I reach him with my hands?
You can definitely do that.
Can I release his traps?
You can definitely do that.
I will.
You go ahead and release the straps. And I'm assuming you're going to bring in your legs and knees further up to get away from the cold, cold, damp water.
Yeah. Also gonna see if I can open this thing from the inside.
You go ahead and look at this thing. Much like the dancing lights up before, you're starting to see the pod in different light all together. You're starting to see through it, understand it, at least its dimensions. It's almost as if it's almost as if this entire tube is just an extension of your own body, of your own form. Because essentially, and you know this, you've dreamed of this, it has been. This has been part of your body. This has been your womb. This has been your chrysalis for a very, very long time.
Then I can open it by opening my body.
If you want to take it literally,
Not that literally.
it will involve you breaking out and having to suffer that cold, cold water, not just on your feet, but your entire body. You'll have to break out. You'll have to go ahead and suffer that hypothermia, that freezing again. You'll have to swim through it. You are safe. You are comfortable here. Can you break out? Do you know how far you have to swim? Can you do it?
I can't. How far can I look outside?
It may be dank. It may be watery. But when you look out, much like the glass tube you find yourself in, you can look through the water. You can look through the water and you can see the distance there, all those lights that dance at spring, all those fairies, all those other mythical creatures between you in the water towards the obvious breaking point, the surface where they are. It's not that far. Not that far at all, actually. So close. So very, very close.
If this cage is a part of me, then I can move the cage.
uh, The cage goes ahead and starts to rattle as some sort of underwater current goes ahead and brushes it, landing you on your side now.
Or not.
Yeah, you're not foolish enough to think you have that much control.
Well, then I just have to try. And then I'll have to try and break out.
Fair enough. Totally doable. You see before you the latch now above you because the capsule got turned on its side, but you see the latch above you. You can see the thin, well, you can see the tiny trickles of water starting to pour on through the hatch. And you can go ahead and lay your hands on it. The left wrist being like the weakest one, beyond weak.
Mm-hmm.
You can still feel the tiny little muscles spasming in that wrist that just won't fucking cooperate anymore. You can see the blood from your fingertips starting to stitch together, but not all that much. It leaves a trail of red wherever it goes. But your right hand is still sturdy. Your right hand goes ahead and grabs that latch.
Is there a place where I can place my feet to, if I open it, if I open the latch and the water comes in, that I can use to pull myself or push myself away?
Push yourself away into the water?
Yeah.
Sure. You can spring yourself if you really need to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Go ahead and grab that latch. You feel the fingertips of your right hand go a little bit numb as it touches the cold metal clasp. You open, and it pours all on you. You freak the ever loving fuck out. All that preparation, all that psyching does absolutely nothing for you at this particular moment. You are drenched. You are pretty much screaming yourself hoarse if you weren't already hoarse inside that capsule. And you are thrown out because of the water pressure that flows on through and forces you out, as long as the other medical equipment. That preparation, that psyching up moment, gone completely.
I scream, try to fight the water that's attacking me. There. I need to fight it one way or another. Can't scream because then it's in me, and if the water's in me, I lose.
What do you do?
I try to kick. She's literally fighting the water, so she's trying to kick and claw at the water as best as she can. Tries not to scream. Try not to grasp for air, but it's almost as if she can't stop it because she's panicking.
You're panicking, but the dancing lights are still with you. The dancing lights are still pointing in a particular direction. Even if you get to go ahead and get yourself turned around, upside down, or disoriented, they're all still pointing in that same direction, up, towards rescue. Or survival.
What?
Or survival.
Try to. She'll try to reach out for them and try to kick her way towards them.
You certainly do so. You reach out for them. You continue to do so, and as you reach out for them more and more and more, desperate, panicked. It's a guiding light for your work and your efforts as you go ahead and you see the light. You see the light of the sun. It's there. It's so, so close. Your left hand, goes ahead and cramps out completely and utterly useless. Your feet are now starting to, you can feel the freaking ice forming in the pores. And you can feel it starting to stiffen up, starting to burn you, starting to stick you with needles, much like the needles that were in your spine only moments ago. But with your right hand, you continue upwards and upwards and upwards until you finally break the surface.
She'll try to keep going for the sun. Try to grab it. Try to hold it if she can. She'll actually scream as she breaks the surface. So when she's finally able to scream and, well, not cry because she's probably been doing that already. She'll look around to see if there's anything that she can crawl upon to get away from the water.
You find yourself, when you break the surface, apparently in the middle of a bay. All around you, there is, well, there are the banks, rocky banks. There is the forest as well. You can see some smoke clouds, some black smoke clouds off in the distance behind the trees and whatnot. But you also see something else that seems, well, completely and utterly out of place. You see at the edges of this lake, the water tends to splash upwards along the rocks. And every time it does that, it goes ahead and leaves a little bit of an after image. The after image is something with wings, something that looks reptilian, with claws, and with a strength and a familiarity. Something that calls to you. The lights, the dancing lights, seem to dance towards it rather than away from it. And when the dancing lights go ahead and meet this draconic figure, they dance around him as well. You can see that as much as it splashes against the bank, this dragon seems to go ahead and move from the right to the left, away from the rocky banks towards a much softer, sandy bank. But it doesn't do much more than that. It seems to be a phantom in the distance. Something that, well, obviously you're still getting over it and you're still panicked. You don't know what you're seeing right now, but there's land there. There's a soft, sandy bank.
She'll try to go for it as fast as she can. She needs to get out of wherever she's in now before that thing grabs her again. And that's the way out. So that's where we're going.
Definitely. Takes you a while, a few minutes actually, until the waves just go ahead and crash you, deposit you onto the sandy banks of this bay. You go ahead and roll on over, the sand getting in your hair, that nylon suit. Everything just seems so fucking weird, disjointed. This is so different from where you once were. You're no longer a part of the pod. You're no longer a part of the greater facility. There are no voices in your head. There is no electronic screeching. There is peace. There is the wind you haven't heard in a long time. There is the chirping of birds. There is the smell of pine in the air, not the sterile ammonia that you've been assaulted with for so long. And it seems as if the only real artifact of that other world you escaped from, or thrown from, or was abandoned from, is this nylon medical suit that just hugs your form.
She'll lay on the sand for a while, staring up and getting used to the fact that she's no longer rocking back and forth. It's actually dizzying that the ground, there is actually ground and it's not moving. It's weird. She starts to realize all these other things and tries to get up.
Did I say that was the only artifact? What did I lie about? What else do you have?
Huh?
I said that the only artifact that you had from your time was the nylon medical suit. Obviously, I have lied. Obviously, there's a detail that I'm not telling you.
The name tag?
Bingo.
She'll look at it. Just try to familiarize herself with the name and the number on the tag. She actually frowns for a moment as she realizes that she starts to recognize the name. Carrie. She'll look at the number as well. If that rings more bells, but it actually doesn't.
9967.
9967. She's not quite sure what she is right now. Is she this Carrie or is she 9967?
You're a free agent at the moment. Well, at least you assume you have agency. There is a big wide world, and you have been born into it. 9967.
She'll start walking, one foot in front of the other, slowly. Not really sure where to go, but she needs to get away from here. So, any general direction will do.
What does 9967 really want right now?
9967 wants to be warm.
9967, you want to be warm. You go ahead and extend out some of your vision. Because you have it at the moment, so you don't know why, but you have it. Maybe it's the stress that's pushing you to see it. They told you that you would never see it. But you see it far off in the distance, in the direction of the smoke. There is a place of comfort. There is a place of warmth. There is, well, in northeast direction, away from the road, a cabin.
She'll stumble that way.
You certainly stumble that way. And true to your sight, you see the cabin there. You see it warm. You see it cozy. You can feel the warmth and the coziness right from where you're standing. Your feet are freezing at the moment. They've been walking through snow. You're pretty sure that there's a frostbite right there on your pinky toe. You might lose it.
Sounds good. She'll move faster as fast as she can towards the cabin and towards the warmth.
You do so. You find yourself on the porch. You find yourself looking at this door. What do?
Open it.
You open it, and behind the door, you see a gentleman and woman and a very, very small child that go ahead and look at you rather quickly. The young woman says, "Oh my dear Lord, what happened to you?"
Cold.
And there's not much to be said about what happens next. You 9967 seem to have found the one bit of humanity in this entire world of darkness that's willing to take in somebody at face value, to bring them comfort, to clothe them, and not ask too many questions, to actually trust that you're a person in need and not some type of terrible, terrible monster, which you obviously are, 9967. You're a monster.
I'm a monster.
Some days you thought that, other days you didn't. But other than that, this is how we can go ahead and end this. As they go ahead and try to calm you down, try to get some information out of you, but nothing really comes to mind. They're they write it off as some sort of amnesia case, some sort of stress. They don't even ask too many questions about the nylon medical suit. They just, again, take you at face value, try to calm you down, comfort you, feed you something that actually fills your belly. It's wonderful. It's so awesome. They even tend to your wounds. And by the time it's all over, you just feel like you need to leave. And when you ask where you should go, they say maybe you go west, try to find family, whatever family is for you, and they welcome you back anytime you feel lost.
What is west?
You know what west is.
What is there?
You find yourself at the tip of Long Island, and west you'll find different reaches of Long Island County. Further west you'll find yourself in the borough of Queens, in Brooklyn. Further west you'll find yourself in Manhattan. Towards the west is civilization. Towards the west is New York City, and towards the west is where you will go. Any last thoughts, feelings, actions? 9967?
I need to go west.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find something. I need to find a family. A family of my own. I can do that. There must be a family of monsters somewhere.
And that is how we end our scene. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. You'll see you all again next time when we see you.